Shaun, welcome back, mate.
Thank you, Harley. Pleasure to be here.
Something a little bit different today. For those, Shaun's episode is episode 51. And today he's come back to talk to me about the podcast, lessons learnt, things that we've learnt through the sort of common struggles and stuff that the veterans are facing and how they're overcoming, and me personally, what I've learnt on this journey. So thanks for doing that today, mate.
My pleasure, mate. I think it's a great idea, and nice to be on the other side of the table asking the questions for once.
You're still on the same side.
Still on the same side.
Maybe we should have swapped to get into it.
So what, mate, so I think when we had this conversation the other day, I think it's a great thing for you probably won't even recognise what you've learned, the lessons that have come along just through osmosis in a lot of ways. I think you've spoken to so many people now and through your own process, and I think it's just great for your listeners to be able to understand a little bit more about you, how you tick, what goes on, because it's just that real personal sort of part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess if we do like the 3-minute version of where you came from, blah, 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 how you got to here, and make it reasonably brief, but I think, some people won't know that story, just so they got the understanding what got you into this in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say in a nutshell, I've lived on both sides of the tracks. I grew up experienced a lot of sort of youth homelessness, street gangs, violence, abandonment, all that sort of tick boxes of neglect and isolation as a child. And just that sort of bouncing from, as a youth, once I hit sort of 11, 12, then I was just bouncing from whoever would take me in, friends' houses, couches, garages, until I got to 16. And there's obviously periods of homelessness in between where I got stuck. And then when I got to 16, I sort of got a job at a sandwich shop and got a caravan and from then I've lived kind of comfortably, I guess. I've had a roof over my head ever since.
How old are you now?
44.
Yeah, awesome. So what was the in as much detail as you do or don't want to go into, what sort of sparked that 11 or 12, obviously family breakdowns and...
No, that was from birth. My mum was a sex worker and alcoholic.
Gotcha.
And, my dad was a 1%er, bikie.
Yep.
So my mum was just like one of the whores, for lack of a better word, that would cruise around the clubhouse, naked all the time and caught my dad's eye and they had a thing. She left him in the middle of the night when she was pregnant and he didn't even know. So apparently he used to beat her and abuse her, and she got scared and fled. So he never knew I was born, so there was no sort of ill feelings towards him not knowing who I was. But then my mum, basically she never had any business having kids. She just...
Sure.
She had my sister who's 7 years older than me. She had a bunch of abortions, and then she had me. So we were just the lucky ones that missed the coat hanger, and then as lucky as you want to call it. And then we're just born into that life of basically a sex worker trying to raise kids as she was, drowning in alcohol and sorrow. And so we basically raised ourselves. My sister raised me. And then when she left when she was about 13, 14, so I was about 7, and then from there I was just sort of bumping into walls, trying to work it out for myself. It was 13 when I made my great escape, I guess you would call it. There was a whole bunch of stuff. People couldn't go back to episode 19 or the episode on One Talk to hear the full story. But basically, my mum actually found religion, which converted her from sort of one obsession to another. Didn't really make her a better parent, just made her stop drinking and look after herself a little bit better. But then when I just started grade 8, so 12, she went into a coma. She thought God came to her in a dream and told her to fast for 40 days and 40 nights like he did in the Bible. And so she gave it a crack. She got to 16 days and she had a seizure and went into a coma for a couple of weeks. And then my sister, who had actually gone back to, this is in WA, my mum took us over there to escape her past. and her problems, which obviously followed her as they do. My grandma then brought my sister over to Queensland, back over to Queensland to live with her and put her through school there. So I was over there by myself. And then once that happened, then they came and got me as well and sort of rescued me, I guess. But by this stage, I was a fucking delinquent.
Sure.
So they couldn't handle me. So yeah, after a couple of other little events, like stealing my mum's car and trying to drive across the country from Perth to Queensland, then I started going through whoever would take me in.
Yeah, sure. So that makes perfect sense as to where you ended up now, right? Like military, looking for that belonging and that family and that identity and that purpose.
100%.
Then all the way through that to this. And that, like, mate, tough story, like super tough story. But again, I think it's a great thing for people to look at and go, look at where you're at now. And I'm sure there's still challenges as there is for all of us. But so when you go from there into military, how does that sort of happen?
So for anybody that thinks this is a bit broken up and sketchy, there is two podcasts which we'll explain it in full detail. So after those teenage years, I pretty much became a full delinquent. Went from bad to worse because I went from I got taken into families that were really good, but then they would only sort of be able to sustain it for sort of six or 8 months or whatever, and then I'd
through foster care or?
Yeah, kind of, but not through the foster care system. Like just like people knew of my situation, and their mum would say, "I'll take him." Then they get the dole, like an extra, an extra bit of dole to keep me. It was hard to sustain because it was, we were living in poverty.
Sure.
And they had one family, for example, had 3 kids already, so I was the fourth. We're all in high school, so it was pretty tough. They and because I sort of went, this is my new family, I really attached to them and felt that sense of belonging. But then they kicked me out.
100%.
And then it was just a massive kick in the guts into like, why even bother? What am I doing? Fuck all this. Fuck everyone. I'll just do it myself. And then the streets became my family.
Sure.
So then I really didn't get attached to anybody else that took me in. I just used it as a bed and lived on kicked around the streets. And then got involved in gangs, and the sort of level of gangs got worse and worse and worse until I was in sort of the Brisbane South Side gangs. And then, but through all of this, I guess you could say I didn't want it.
Sure.
I was in it, but I didn't want to be in it. I was always looking out at good families and, the families having the roast dinners on Sundays and the families, hugging their kids and all that sort of stuff, going, that's what I want. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel safe, sort of sleep with one eye open.
Because you weren't?
Yeah. No, you weren't.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, you're always looking over your shoulder and there were people trying to bash us all the time, and, cars would pull up and dudes would get out with fucking trolley poles and bats and stuff. And so, yeah, I didn't want it. I didn't like it. I didn't want to be there. I just did what I had to do to survive in the only way I knew how. But then I met a girl, kind of hop, skip and jump forward a little bit. I knew I wanted to get out. I was trying to pull myself back. And I'd moved into a house of a guy that was associated with all the gangs, but not a contributor. He was just really respected. He was an older Asian guy that the Asian gangsters respected. But he was a business owner. He had a couple of cars. He sort of did everything legitimately. And I was like, this is a good little, I'm not out of the circles because everyone respects this guy. But it's a good little step away.
Sort of half step out, yeah.
Yeah. And started looking for better jobs, and I was working in hospitality because that's all I had. And then I met a girl at this point, a Canadian girl that was on a visa for 12 months, work holiday visa. So she had been in Australia for a month, so she had 11 months to go. She was planning on staying in Brisbane for only 2 or 3 weeks and then continue on and do the circuit. And then she stayed for the 11 months. And then we fell in love. I went over to Canada. my first trip overseas, first time seeing the snow, first time living in Queensland, really. I'd been down to New South Wales once when I was a teenager, and I'd been to WA with my mum, but other than that, I hadn't.
So how old were you when you went to Canada?
20.
Yep.
Yeah, we met when I was 20. 2005, 4, 3, 22.
Yep.
And then, so we were together for a couple of years, and then I was like, I was still hanging around the gangsters and stuff, and, still participating in sort of petty crimes, like assault.
In Canada or?
No, here.
Here, yep.
Assaults and stuff. Like, I don't know, one example, somebody stole her handbag once when we were at a club, and I clocked his face because he had a very distinguishing feature. And then a couple of weeks later, we went to that same club, and me and my mate just sort of sat at the bar, and we saw him, and we watched and waited till he left, and then we followed him out into an alley and beat the fuck out of him.
Yep.
Told her about it. I think my mate told her about it, and I was like, "Don't fuck tell her."
Yeah.
And she was like happy and proud. I was like, "I thought you didn't like that sort of shit." She's like, "Well, I don't want to see you do it, but I kind of like the fact that my man can handle himself."
100%. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, then I was kind of pulling away, trying to find better jobs. So I moved into Mount Gravatt and worked at the coffee club and tried to pull myself out of the shit. And then I met my dad for the first time, who I'd never met before. I knew his name. I knew he was a biker when I was growing up. And so my mother called me, who I hadn't seen for almost a decade at this point.
Wow.
And she said, "This is your dad's name. This is where he lives. Reach out if you want." I think it was like a little sort of half-ditch effort from her to get me back on, back on her side.
Yeah, sure.
I met my dad right over there on a motorbike, which he was super proud of because he always wanted a son named Harley to ride home on a motorbike.
Where was he?
Glasshouse Mountains.
Oh, yeah. At
the time, I met a bunch of siblings I never knew I had. They didn't know about me. I didn't know about them. So one of them is actually coming on here on Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah, so he was in the Navy as well. And then, my brother, I'm the oldest. I've got 2 older sisters actually, but I'm the oldest son. I've got 2 younger brothers, 2 older sisters and a younger sister. All of them, none of us talk. We don't send Christmas cards or anything. We know each other. And my brother that's coming on here this week is the only one I really chat to. I've got another brother who was in the Navy for 25 years or something, 27 years. He's a warrant officer in the Navy. I used to speak to him a lot when I was in the Navy. We used to hang out over there and he sort of run me through the ropes. But he lives in Perth with his family and so lost touch. But anyway, when I met my dad told me how he was a clearance diver in the Navy. My brother was a stoker in the Navy at the time. So when my brother came home for leave, we would all sit down and they would tell me how fucking amazing the Navy was and how awesome it was and da-da-da-da. And I was like, kind of wanted to join the Army because I felt the Army was more military-esque.
Sure, yep.
The discipline and you see the soldiers marching and just felt more.
The Navy doesn't get a lot of that
no
exposure, does it, to the public?
No, we don't get that, yeah. And it doesn't seem as sort of regimental, which in hindsight is probably why it's better. But yeah, they put the work into me to join to go and do that and get a career, get a good life, which was exactly the sort of thing that I needed, the push that I needed, because I was like, I want to join. Originally, I wanted to be a pilot, couldn't be a pilot because I'm colourblind. Then I wanted to be a commando, couldn't be a commando because I'm colourblind. So I was like, sort of gave up the Army dream. But then, they told me the Navy's fucking amazing. You deploy no matter what job you're in, da-da-da-da-da. Did that. Told my missus, going to join the Navy. This will be our way to set myself up, provide you with the life that I want to provide you with. And, back in the 90s, being a provider was still a thing.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, she was on board. She kind of didn't like the thought of the travel and stuff, but she was, loved the thought of a man in uniform, so she was behind it. So yeah, I went and spent some time in Canada with her, and then went off to the bus.
Cool.
So that is how my military journey started. Yeah.
So then and I think you obviously want to cover the military stuff in good detail in the other podcast, so I no need to go through that. But I think that to me is just a great foundational perspective for people to understand where you've come from if they haven't listened to those other episodes, right? So then how long did you do in military?
So, the road hasn't been paved at any stage. It continues to get rocky. So I was in the Navy for a week, and she died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was in an accident in Canada. So I left her in Canada. So I went over there for a few months leading up to January. So January 5th was my intake date. And so I left her like January 2nd, flew back, basically packed a bag and went straight to boot camp, recruit school. And yeah, I was there for a week. I think it was day 5. It was day 5 because it was January 10th. I was getting uniform fittings. I found out 3 days later. I was January 13th. I was getting uniform fittings. One of the I lost all Navy terminology because I was in the Army for so long. But one of the secos come in and grabbed me, said, you need to come and see the LT. So I went into the lieutenant's office, and it was him, Padre, and my seco all sat down around this round table, and they fucking hit me in the face with that fucking brick, which kind of, it didn't derail my career because I stayed. In the Navy's defence, they put me on a plane that day. Went to Canada, stayed for a couple of weeks for the funeral and stuff, and came back 3 weeks later. They were surprised. They were like, we didn't think you were going to come back. But in my head, I was like, if I don't go back, the only other option I have is the gangs that I came from. And with this level of fucking hurt, I'll probably kill myself.
Sure.
Whether that be through drugs, alcohol, or just with a fucking gun.
Yeah.
So I stayed just for the structure and discipline and having somewhere to be.
Like an anchor.
Yeah. Which worked all right. And recruit school was fine. It really helped me get through what I was going through for that little period, for that 3 months. But then get past recruit school and into category school, and now you've got alcohol coming in the picture. So now we're getting drunk all the time. I'm lashing out, angry at everybody, punching on with mates.
How old are you?
25.
Yep.
And then just went from bad to worse. So after category school, which you still had a little bit of structure and discipline and stuff, I got posted to Perth, HMAS Sterling down in Rocky. And then for the first couple of months, I was on base, and then you can move off.
Oh, okay.
Once I moved off, then it got bad.
The wheels come off, yep.
Yeah, so the Navy has a pretty big drug culture, which I didn't know about until I was fucking in it. But I don't know if it was just my work colleagues or it was Navy-wide. I won't speak for the whole Navy, but it was pretty fucking bad. Okay. It was rife. Like not just the junior sailors, but the able seamen, the leading seamen, the entire duty watch basically was off their fucking tits on crystal meth, speed, cocaine, ecstasy. And then it got, so it was a party culture. Everyone's having a fucking fat time. But for me, it's not a great time. No. And there's no war. It's peacetime, so there's nothing else to do, right? In an operational sense. No. So we were just, working Monday to Friday, plus your weekend duties and just getting fucking written off whenever we're not at work. Yeah, wow. And me, I'm each fucking night, each drug I'm taking, each fucking bottle of alcohol, I'm just dying inside.
Are you a all or nothing personality?
No.
Are you a and I'm just curious because this is what I'm like, and I'm curious if this is your thing. That like I don't drink at all anymore, but I never have 2 beers. I have 200.
Yeah.
If there's a bag of Coke, why do one line? I'll do all of them. Is that you in that sense?
No, not at all.
Cool.
No, I will. If I do a few lines of Coke, I will quite happily go, that's enough.
Oh, okay.
And there's a line when I drink. If I have 2 or 3 beers, that's fine. I'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
If I have half a bottle and I'm still, oh yeah, I don't want any more. But if I get drunk,
on the run, yep,
then I'm fucking.
It's all over it, right?
Yeah, I'll go till I black out.
Yeah, right.
But I'm fun when I drink, which is good. I'm never a violent or an angry drunk. Except when I was in that.
Bet you were back then, yeah.
Back then I was, yeah.
But that's obviously the very Freudian, very simple psychology of that, right? Being come from no one, got no one you depend on, no one you care about. Well, sorry, no one cares about you is the feeling, certainly. You find someone you love and all of a sudden, hey, fuck, I finally got the thing I wanted, and then it's snatched away.
Yeah, exactly what it was.
That's fucking hard, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, finally had something to look forward to and be optimistic about, and finally found that family. And her family I'd fallen in love with. I'd spent time over there. They knew my story. They took me in as their own. I asked her to marry me. I asked them first. They said yes. So the whole thing was just like, I've done it.
Wow.
I've fucking done it. And then, I was all fucking in. And then it was ripped away. And the level of hurt, like there's nothing that can fucking describe it. I would never want to lose a child, but I think that's probably the only thing that would compare.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And I'm not moving on to, for any reason other than to not sort of drag you through that more than we need to. Then, so what happens with the Navy career? Does that?
So I did close to 2 years, and it was getting really bad. Like I'd gone from doing drugs every weekend to realising that drug tests don't happen on Monday, so I can push it forward to Thursday night and Wednesday night as well. And then it was basically became a crack addict.
Wow.
Became a meth addict.
Yep.
And then the Navy weren't offering any. They gave me like 4 grief counselling sessions when I was in recruit school, which was like, understanding the 12 cycles.
Sure.
And once we got through the 12 cycles, they're like, off you go. And never got any mental health support or anything. And I think because the party culture was what it was and my bosses were sort of in on it, no one's going, Harley's fucked, he needs help. He's going, no.
Oh, he's the same as us.
Harley's fun, yeah, he's one of the boys.
Yeah.
Me punching on with my mates in front of my petty officer didn't ring any alarm bells. It was just like, fucking.
What's normal behaviour?
Sort it out, boys,
Yeah,
back to work.
And when these sort of careers, I think, and obviously it's not everyone, it's a generalisation, but military, definitely policing, similar my background, and particularly in policing, I think you tend to get into like dog units, SWAT units, whatever places that are more dangerous, they're our personalities. Love mayhem, love chaos, and don't love it in the sense as you want to be in it, but you're very comfortable in it, you've lived in it, you to an extreme that you get to that point at 25 for you punching on with your mates after you've lost the angel that was going to drag you out of the horrible place. You lose that, you're like, what's the fucking point? My whole life I've been fighting, and now, whether it's, God or whatever you would have thought about or spoken to would have been like, well, fuck this. So
100%. And that's exactly what it came to.
Battling suicidal stuff then? Or,
yeah,
for
that's
sure.
exactly what it came to. What's the fucking point?
Of course.
It's too hard. I've fought for too long. Can't do it anymore.
Exhausted.
Yeah. So I drove around. I drove around fucking until I found a cliff high enough to fucking do the deed, and stood up there. Must have been a good fucking 2 hours. And I guess the things that were coming into my head was I had a daughter already, and I didn't want her to know her dad had suicided.
Mm.
And the biggest thing was that I had my family in Canada that I had created through my partner. I had become close to them, and in that 3 weeks after she died, we had really leaned on each other for support, and they had become like a family to me.
Sure.
And I thought, I can't do this to compile on top of what they've already lost.
Can't lose to someone, they've just lost their daughter.
Yeah, when they actually said to me, we've lost a daughter, but we've gained a son.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't fucking take their son away from them too. So,
and I think, mate, that's an amazing little lesson for people. I think, like when I've been through dark times, before I had my daughter, it was about probably my parents and different people, but since I've had the girls, I'm like, it doesn't matter how bad life comes, I couldn't do that to them. And I think for people to go through these things is finding that anchor external to yourself to go, and it's such a cliched, blasé way to say it, but things are never as bad as you think. And in hindsight, when you look back 20 odd years later, it's still horribly painful, but you understand you can get through it. You don't know you can get through it when you're standing at the bottom of the mountain looking up, you haven't started climbing it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's why this sort of stuff for your listeners to know this about you and see this about you gives someone out there that goes, oh, fuck, Harley can get through it, then I can get through it. And I think that external anchor into someone, make your purpose someone else as to why you keep fighting. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that has already been shown in a couple of episodes where people have gone, like Brownie, for example, somebody saw that and said, I was on the verge of suicide, and seeing that and where he is now has pulled me back. Yeah, getting through, and like you said, I only got the tattoo on my arm, but literally for that reason, for every dark night, there's a brighter day. My life, the tattoo, the rose that grew from concrete, so the concrete was my life, and the roses who I've become. Awesome. And then Canada's the place that helped me become who I am. But yeah, so I walked myself back off that cliff and got in the car and drove to base. I was high. I was AWOL at the time. And I drove into the psych's office and just said, I'm not okay. And their solution was fast track me out of there. Yeah. I think from that point I didn't go back to work, and they gave me a compassionate discharge. In hindsight, the fucking absolute completely backward, wrong
100%
thing to do. Like,
yeah, sure.
I felt the Navy let me down because they should have fucking put me in a in-stay or
sure. Sure.
You kind of come here and see me every week, every day for a fucking month. I don't know, anything but just
an intervention.
Yeah.
Totally.
Anything but just fucking send me on my way as a 25-year-old dude that's not coping, knowing what I'd been through, and then just going, off you go. So yeah, then I just bumbled my way through life for the next couple of years, trying. Holy fuck!
Jesus, pissing down rain. Yeah.
So I did almost 2 years in the Navy, got out, and then one of the things that helped me was the fact that I had made Alison promises that I would become a better man, that I would get a good...
So this is your partner's Canadian, that's Alison, yep.
Yeah,
okay.
That I would... She came from a good family.
Yeah.
Like, she was fun and liked to party and adventure and like super adventure. Like, she was here as a dive instructor. And,
yeah, wow.
But she came from a good family. So although she accepted me for being a gangster, she knew that she could see it in me that that wasn't who I was going to be.
Sure.
So I promised her I was going to get away from that life, that I was going to get a good job, that I was going to get fit, that I was going to look after myself. So for the next couple of years, although it didn't happen overnight by any stretch of the imagination,
sure.
and sure there were plenty of nights of drug-fueled fucking adventure, but I was slowly making steps to make that happen. And 12 months into it, I moved in with a friend. He got out of the Navy at the same time. 12 months into it, we both decided to move out of the party house we were living in, get our own place together in Paddington. And then from there, same, like just slowly ticking away, like let's start doing exercise, let's start running, let's start Muay Thai, let's do this. And so we're slowly pulling back, getting fit, focusing on more on abs than fucking ecstasy pills. And then I rejoined the army at this stage when I felt like I had gotten myself, I never got over the fact that she was so proud of me to wear the uniform, and I was really proud of myself. Putting that uniform on, every time I felt just this huge sense of pride. And
like belonging. Belonging, identity, like a place after 25 years where you finally felt like you fitted.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's very common.
The brotherhood, the family.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was fucking good at it.
Yeah.
I was good at it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I went back to the army, got back in uniform, felt that sense of pride again. And then, yeah, the whole military thing is pretty staggered. I did the reserves because I didn't want to, in the army, I could only do admin, fucking, I don't know, shit kicking jobs that I didn't want to do.
No, I know what you mean.
Shit kicking for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, if you're in support and you like those jobs, fucking more power to you because it's all important. But I wanted to do, like, I was fit as fuck.
Yep.
I was keen and willing and able to do a higher end combat role.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted, but I couldn't. So I was like, I'll do reserves and just try.
So why couldn't you? Because of colourblindness and that,
Colourblind, yeah.
And the mental health stuff, or that wasn't from the Navy wasn't an issue?
No, because I never fucking flagged it.
Wow.
No, they're just like, your missus died, we gave you compassionate discharge, why do you want to come back? I'm like, well, I'm okay now. And they're like, sweet.
Which in some ways I suppose is the benefit of being useless on the way out is they're useless on the way in. So, you know, that's probably a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So I joined admin clerk, pay corps for 4 years. And then they disbanded it. So I went to uni, got a degree in exercise physiology.
Awesome.
And then when I finished uni, I went back as a army officer to GSA. So I went to QUR and did my my fucking officer cadet training for a couple of years. And then at the time I was working at Soldier Recovery as a exercise physiologist. So while I was doing my QUR training, I was working at Soldier Recovery. And then Paul was obviously having troubles with staff coming and going all the time.
Yep.
I was like, what if I could I come and work here and give you some consistency as a choco instead of hiring these full timers that are sort of on their way out? He's like, well, you can't be an officer. There's no roles, but if you transfer back to OR, we can take you. So I transferred, gave up the appointment and transferred into artillery, and then got qualified up on mortars, became a mortar operator. Took 2 years to get qualified up in the combat role, which is the only one they opened to colourblind people. I guess because you're so far away, I don't know.
Yep. All the mortars are the same colour, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's not. There's pack rounds, blue rounds, HE. And then Paul took me on, and I did like 3.5 years as a seco
awesome.
at SRC.
Yeah. Mate, fucking what a story. And what a story in the sense of, to me, such a, if there is a typical military story that I've heard for, you know, I have no background serving in military, but for the last 8 years been around it, you know, in a reasonable consistency, that it is such an environment similar to the police, I think, where you have people who have such challenge and trauma and difficulty and mayhem are drawn to those careers. And I think military even more so than policing potentially. But
yeah, because you got policing is the enemy when you grow up in that life.
100%. Of course, mate. Yeah, like you won't go from that life to the cops.
Yeah.
But you could certainly take the skills you'd learned as a gangster to be a good soldier.
Yeah.
You know, there's certainly a rational pathway, as irrational as it might sound to most people, I guess. But it's and you know, for me it was my old man, definitely. If my old man was a bikie, I would have been a sergeant at arms in the Banditos. It didn't matter who, he just happened to be a cop. And I think it's the personalities now, and that's the part that I think now we move into, which is the real benefit for your audience is how you can come from such a fucking challenging background, like that's, unbelievable, to be such a highly functioning individual now, even though that's probably not what you assess yourself as, which we don't. But by all measure of the background you came from and just how far behind the start line you were when the gun went off, essentially to get to a point where you are now, where, you are, how many episodes in now?
65.
Right, 65 episodes in. Like you said, Brownie's episode, other people's, there would have been so many lives that you have impacted in such a positive way that you will never even know about.
Yeah.
And I experienced that. I got a message yesterday from someone who was like, I've been listening to your podcast for 5 years and your social media stuff, and, my career's gone ahead. I fixed my family. I'm on track. Yeah, but all this stuff that I'm just like, wow, I don't know how that happens when I'm a bumbling fucking fool.
Well, it's like that thing, like I would never message a podcaster to tell them how much I like their podcast, right?
No, me either.
So of these ones and twos and handfuls
There's
of people.
There's another 100.
Yeah, how many more are
exactly
feeling the same?
And you go, what a great, and I'm very mindful of not being the perpetual glass half full guy, because I think, the silver lining fuckwit, because it can sound so just fake. But I honestly look at life now at 56 and go, those sort of, stories to me go, holy shit, like if you can come from that to where you are now and do what you've done in your life and be an effective dad, do all the stuff that you do so well, then like what's possible for people? And I think and your story to me is something and that's why the lessons that we get to now are so important. But your story to me is just one of those things that you can look at people and, people say the same thing about mine, even though I don't think we ever look at our own as that special. Like I look at mine and go, whatever, mate. But it's that ability to actually be open and vulnerable in the way you are in that whole conversation. Like the stuff you just spat out in whatever period of time, half an hour or something, or 40 minutes is fucking challenging. Hugely challenging, and you're just rattling through it as though it's your Coles shopping list in some regard. And I could see the emotion in your face at times. But so when you take all of that, Harley, and where the stuff you must have had to do and had to learn to get to the point where you decided to start this, and I'm presuming it's a pretty simple jump to go where you wanted to be able to pass on the stuff you'd learned and help other people and tell stories and have impact.
Yeah, well, I think it all began at SRC. I think living on both sides of the tracks, as I began the conversation by saying, gives me the ability to connect and relate to people on every different edge of the scale, right? So I've experienced homelessness all the way through to I've worked in white collar roles and in multiple defence forces. So there's really not much of life that I haven't walked myself. I've been to high level corporate events. I've been to, bikey events. I've been to shit kicking, drug dens. I've been everywhere and done it all. So I think that if a soldier sees a psych, the first question they'll say is, have you served? So I think that fact that I have done that, I have served, I have, lived on the streets, I have been a white collar dude, then immediately I can have conversations with people. So I think at SRC I sort of saw that because, and I say veterans have a massive bullshit detector, right, for corporate fluff. They know when somebody cares and when they don't, and when it's just to tick a box. And I found at SRC when I was working there on behalf of Mates for Mates that EPs and psychs and counsellors and stuff would talk to the soldiers and the soldiers would just shut down. But when I was working there, they would come to me and pull me aside and break down in tears and tell me everything that's going wrong with them and that they fucking attempted suicide last night and all these sorts of things. And I was like, why me? Why am I the one that they feel comfortable to talk to like this? And I was talking to one of the girls at Mates for Mates about it. And she's like, you just have this aura where people just feel comfortable opening up to you. And I was
like recognises like, mate.
Yeah. Game recognised game.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, maybe my mental health struggles and stuff that I've gone through, helped with that as well. But yeah, so sort of that planted a seed, that experience at Mates and Mates, at Solid Recovery for those years. And then wanted to do a podcast, thought I'd be good at it. Don't know why, fucking delusional maybe. But and then I just thought, who have I got the most contact with? Who do I have the best conversations with myself? Who do I have the most fun with? And I was like, it's the boys and girls, the veterans, when we catch up and just talk shit and laugh and the dark humor and the fucking stupid stories and the shit that only we understand. But wouldn't it be cool to fucking bridge that gap so that the rest of society could understand it a little bit? And also the military history side of knowing what your parents and your grandparents did or your partner did and understanding how they felt about what they did rather than just like, oh yeah, Dad's I'm not so sure. I think it was a truckie.
He never talked about it or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't just one thing. It was a kind of a bunch of different things that led to it. And it's become a whole beast of something I never thought would happen or could have got out of it. Yeah.
It's so awesome, mate. Now, so if you look at what have you learned personally out of the 65, what'd you say, how many episodes?
65, yeah, I think this will be 65. What have I learned personally? I guess we talk about like imposter syndrome. I look at imposter syndrome now like I looked at, like kids look at adulthood. When you're a kid, you think that there's an adult and they've got all their shit worked out and they drive a nice Commodore and they must be fucking so squared away and switched on and they know everything about the world and you respect them. And I don't know if kids still do, but respect them and think they know everything and, oh my God, it must be like adults are just this fucking thing to be held on a pedestal. But then you get here and you're like, we're all just a bunch of bumbling fucking idiots.
100%.
Pretending we know what we're talking about.
For sure.
I look at that and that's obviously fucking, mate, you've just heard where I've come from. My imposter syndrome was rife. Having conversations of any level of authority made me fucking shit myself because who the fuck am I? I'm just a street kid. In my head, I'm still a street kid. I'm telling all these people about how to live their lives.
Yeah.
So talking to people of any sort of, I don't know, any level up, a SECO or an officer or a SOCOM operator would, who the fuck am I to be talking to these people? I bumbled my way through 6 different jobs in the military and never got past fucking private in any of them because I didn't stick to one job for long enough. And I'm having these conversations. But then it sort of transformed from that, I'm not worthy of these conversations, to understanding that these people are all people. The same way I thought adults were special, they're not. They're just trying to work it out and get through life. The same. It's just that they happen to choose this job that they're doing and they were good at it, but they're still humans and they're still, got their own issues and problems. And I think that has helped me eliminate a lot of that imposter syndrome.
That's awesome, mate. And I think that imposter syndrome stuff is, I don't know what your opinion is on this, but I still definitely suffer from it. But I look at it and go, I think the day that I think I'm special is the day I'll probably become fucking ineffective.
Yeah, for sure. You got to stay humble, stay real. If you think you know everything, you definitely someone most people probably don't want to be around.
And you think for you, mate, something that was resonating for me as you were talking then is, it sounds a bit weird, but I put a lot of things through the filter of our evolutionary psychology, like from millions of years ago, thousands of years ago. How do we learn lessons? How do we teach people things? Was conversations around campfires or whatever that was as cavemen and women and whatever. That in many ways, that's exactly what you're facilitating now in a different flavour, but still very much giving people the opportunity to hear other people's stories, see the human interaction, see the commonalities, and then understand that it's normal to struggle.
Yeah.
It's fucking common.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the biggest, I guess I get a lot of feedback these days. One that's sort of been a common thread is that I feel like I'm sitting in a room with a couple of the boys
Awesome.
having a chat, listening to your podcast. So after half an hour, I feel like I'm in that room with you guys and we're just shooting the shit, having a chat. And the fact that you get into those real and raw topics and stuff and, you feel like you're not alone, which is pretty fucking powerful, yeah.
And I think you have a brilliant ability, mate, to just maintain a real sense of calm and evenness in the conversations. Like to be able to I think you have a natural ability to anchor the conversations in stuff that's really hectic, but you don't, even when we were going through some of the conversations there, and I certainly felt emotion with some of the things you were talking about, I could see you had it on your face, but the ability to stay in that and not like give the story, but almost minimize the emotional roller coaster maybe. I think you have a brilliant ability to do that, which helps people learn the lesson and not come out of it feeling like they've been in a washing machine of emotion through the process. And I think you do that exceptionally well.
Yeah, cheers. I guess it's, yeah, my ex-wife used to call it lack of fucking empathy or...
Well, we've all got a splash of tism, right? Like,
you never show any emotion.
Yeah.
Um,
but also understandable, because at what stage in your life was emotion ever a safe thing?
Yeah. No. It's it was definitely a survival mechanism. But
so what's the why behind this?
The why? Well, now it's morphed into, well, the conversations that we're having that are creating these connections and giving people this feeling, that sense of not being alone, has become the new why. It's to create the connection and show people the next steps in the journey, and having the multiple different people from multiple different paths that have all worked it out but have gone on completely different roads. And so it's like, not everyone likes vanilla ice cream. Someone might like fucking boysenberry, I don't know, whatever, some completely off cuff. But, you have one person that talks about joining a footy club and that's how they found their purpose. And another person has started a psychology fucking counselling service or something. There is no one route, but having these conversations of showing people different options might spark their own ideas. So the why now is connection. It's just to give everybody the opportunity to feel like they're still connected to the community.
Awesome. That's amazing. So give me, if there was 3 commonalities, 3 lessons, 3 common themes that run through the stories of the people you've spoken to, what do you think they are?
I think number 1 is identity. I lost my identity and my sense of purpose. So the biggest thing is when you hand in that card, and I've done it myself, I fucking understand it. When you fucking hand that card in at the gate, at the DCAC office, and then you walk out and you know that you're not going back in there and you're never going to put that uniform on again, it's fucking soul crushing. And to then pick yourself up and find a new thing, find a new purpose, which is going to give you a new identity, often feels impossible, which is what the common sort of thread is. You drive away from there or you walk away from there in tears, and then you go to medical appointments and then you get told, you have this, and this condition and take these meds or smoke this weed or whatever it is, go and fucking sit on the couch, you put your feet up, you've earned it. And then people are lost. And that's where that becomes a fast track to fucking hello sadness, my old friend, and drinking yourself to death or smoking yourself into stupidity or whatever else it is. But as we've talked about many times, it's not the army. I think you said it on your podcast as well. The army wasn't. You are not who you are because you join the army. You join the army because you are who you are, or the Navy or Air Force. So when you get yourself wrapped up in that identity, the next step is to take yourself, who you had before that, move the fucking military to the side and find your new purpose and identity. And that could be in so many different things. But the people that are successful and the people that are moving forward and that are happy and thriving are the ones that have accepted that the army was a chapter in their life, not their life, and have found a new purpose and identity.
Definitely. And I think that, I did say it on my episode with you, and I've said it so many times that one of the things I've realised, and it's probably only in the last number of years, like I've been out of the cops over 20 years, like I realise now I was the person I was that wanted to join that organisation. The organisation didn't make me that person. But we feel as though the organisation makes us that person. Now, it certainly enhances the skills, teaches us things. Like I'm very grateful to the cops. But I go, I would have been a very similar personality if I did something else, probably. It wouldn't. I think the military, policing, those sort of jobs serving gives us a different ability to test ourselves, be around like-minded people, live in a lot of chaos and mayhem, self-created, much of it. But I think that loss of identity is a huge one. I think, as you say, it's that ability to, and if you're a 24-year-old, girl or guy listening to this podcast going, how do I find that identity? You just choose who you are. And that's that. I have an exercise that I go through at SRC and with a lot of people about that. But to me, the simple part, you are who you choose to be. You'll choose to be somebody that sits on the couch and smokes weed all day, or you'll go, fuck, I don't want to live like this for the rest of my life. But you have to make that choice, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I found a lot of comments, fucking hundreds of them to be fair, talk about, no, I am a soldier. That's who I was made to be, a soldier, and I'll always be a soldier. Fucking 1991, still going strong, fucking hoorah. Which is fair enough. The military gave you a lot of skills, gave you a lot of skills in discipline and how to direct your purpose and mateship and overcoming hardship and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely, fucking use that. Use those new skills that you have from being a soldier. Use it to thrive in whatever else you want to do in the corporate world, in the sporting world, in your family life, And
I think for me anyway, as I get older, it's the wisdom of understanding some of that stuff, because I absolutely thought I was a cop. That's all I was. That's all I wanted to be. But now I think I had this example a couple of days ago. I was driving home from the gym through the valley, through Fortitude Valley, and 3 police cars came out of different streets, going up Ann Street, lights and sirens, obviously going on a pretty hectic job. And that a while ago, like depending on different phases of my life, in and out of the cops, I would have been like, oh, fuck, I wonder what that was. Like I would have been off duty and followed them to that job in my car. Or I would have got to the point after having left where I was really angry, I'd be like, fuck those guys. Or I would have been even like a anxiety response to it or whatever. The other day I was just like, oh, wow, they must be going to a hectic job. I'm like, thank fuck I'm not doing that anymore. And it was just such a sense of calm. And I think it's the ability to know for people that, and I think I have an advantage at being my age now, as I've spent I spent more time out of it than I was in it, almost double the time out that I was in it.
Yeah.
And it's still an extremely important part of who I am and what formed me as a man, but because I joined at 19, but it doesn't really have any impact on who I am now, and I've taken that and evolved it. So the identity becomes from a cop to something else. And now if people, said to me, what's your identity now? And you've heard me do this. I go, take 3 adjectives that would describe you as a leader, something like loving, powerful, courageous, impactful, one of those types of things. So I'm a loving, powerful, courageous leader, and my purpose is to help people and have a positive impact. That's your left and right of arc, and things become simple. And I think if you can define that, then it makes it a lot easier to know what the next steps are. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, people think that means I have to get into some position of power and lead people or whatever, but that could be in anything. It could be in friendship circles and with your kids.
Who you are as a husband or wife or parent. So what's the second thing, mate? If identity is the first, what's the second commonality?
I think the connection. So a lot of the things. So the two biggest things that get the most veterans involved in social media and on the podcast. So the identity and purpose was a big one. People talking about even people did 1 year and their first thing they'll say 20 years later, the first thing they'll say is I was in the army. But the next thing is the connection. So I find the biggest thing that brings people together is the comedy, the funny stuff, a funny story from service, a funny prank, a funny, usually pranks or
fuck ups,
yeah, sure. Dumb shit that you did, or you failed a course because you fucking did whatever, shit yourself on the but that brings thousands and hundreds of thousands, to be honest, of interactions, and then hundreds and hundreds of comments of people then putting their stories in and go, oh fuck, that's the best. It reminds me this time I did this. And so I think that connection of bringing people together, if I can bring hundreds of people together on a comment thread and they for that 2 minutes while they're writing their own little story and probably having a giggle to themselves and they're feeling connected to the community for that few minutes while the minutes that they watch and the minutes that they type, and they probably walk away with a little smile on their face thinking about what they've done. So I think that connection to community is probably the next biggest thing. And I don't know, to be philosophical, if that's something that you love and you miss and you enjoy, fucking pick up the phone or join a group, a community of like-minded people, wherever that may be, and make it a regular thing.
And that's that tribe aspect, right? And
tribe, yeah.
I always hesitate about tribe because so many people have butchered it into something wanky, in my opinion. But
I do that with everything.
Like it's the whole. Whenever I think of tribe, I think of the men's work.
Sebastian Younger
of people. I think of it in a far less flattering light, where I think the groups of guys who go out in the bush with their shirts off and rub mud on their face and hug each other, and and I go, and if that's your thing, cool. I'm very judgmental on it. It's not my thing, but it is tribe. Like we join these jobs, I think, for that sense of connection, tribe, belonging. Like it's that you were looking for it because you didn't have it. I was looking for it because I didn't have it. Everyone I talk to who are in these jobs, well, the greatest majority of people, certainly the people that have had more challenging journeys or whatever, that they're the people I love to talk to because there's meaning and purpose in it, more so than how about the Broncos on the weekend? Like, who cares? I'd rather you tell me, something that matters to you.
100%. Small talk is fucked.
Yeah. And then what's the third thing, mate? What's the third thing that is the commonality you see with the people you talk to? I'm going to suggest one to you. Tell me if this resonates with you.
Yeah.
People trying to find a way or have found a way out of helplessness.
Yeah. Feeling, so I feel less alone, and the, seeing how people have overcome, like we were saying before, I was on the verge of suicide. I couldn't see a way out, but watching another person that I feel was in the same situation get out helped me out. So overcoming that feeling of helplessness. Yeah, for sure. I think the first two sort of the connection, identity, purpose, connection, and tribe, they sort of all conglomerate in together.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely feeling overcoming helplessness because of it. Yeah. And I know lots of people that just fucking punching cones that have told me they're just smoking DVA weed all day. And that's fine if you smoke DVA weed. I'm not anti-DVA weed. I know people that use it and they effectively change their life. Yeah. But I also know people that smoke it like a fucking drug addict and just play PlayStation and punch cones all day. And And yeah, those ones that I've spoken to that have then gone and got a gym membership and got out and are now doing things with their lives because they've seen somebody else on here has done it. Yeah, it pulls them out of a rut.
On occasion, probably far more often than I want to, I put up videos of me in the gym or doing something and I feel like an absolute cockhead.
Yeah.
And it's going to feel like an absolute fucking fool doing it. Like I saw your Muto one the other day and I was like, oh, fuck, that's awesome. And I'm sure you felt like an absolute moron, right? Fuck. You feel like such a cockhead.
Man, I was like, should I do like,
yeah, totally.
Changing it and then fucking had my finger like,
And I think that's awesome for people to understand. There's I got a message from someone the other day and sent me this 3-paragraph thing about how much I impacted them. I never met them, don't know them. And then they, and I sent back and the last part of the comment was, and I love your gym videos, haha. And I was like, is this prick taking the piss out of me?
So you going to fight me?
Yeah, so I was ready to fire up. And I said back and I said, I feel like such a wanker, blah, 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 blah. He goes, oh, that's what I meant, because I've talked about that often in different things. And he said to me, he goes, mate, you got me back in the gym for the last 5 years and I've never been fitter because I saw those videos, keep it up. And I'm like, wow. And for everyone, and I think that's what you do in this podcast, what I do with my stuff, but with everybody, it doesn't, you don't know the impact you're having on someone else. And that's that try part and that helplessness part, right? For me, I go, oh, mate, good story. So you're doing dips at the fucking gym. You look like a cockhead.
Yeah.
And I feel like a cockhead. But then, and I'm sure there are people that go, oh, who's this cockhead? And then there's other people that go, oh, wow, that inspired me to get back in the gym. And I'm like, well, if you want inspiration, you probably should find someone better than me. But if that's work, that's great. But
no, that's exactly why I did it. I do it.
Yeah, and do you find that is that a common theme that runs through a lot of the people you interview and talk to? That sort of other people see them as someone that's important or impactful or influential, but they don't?
That they don't?
As in there's that humility and there's that, so what, I'm putting words in your mouth, but you will get, people that reach out to you and go, oh, thanks so much for interviewing Billy Smith. That was amazing, blah, blah, blah. And if you were to go to Billy Smith, you'd probably go, oh, fuck, did anyone actually think that was a good podcast?
Oh, yeah. You get a lot of the feedback goes directly to them. So I'll get a lot of people that'll come on that'll send me screenshots of the feedback that they've gotten. Because I like we said before, I wouldn't message a podcaster, but I do get feedback, but it's usually generic feedback.
Yep.
About the podcast, not about a guest.
Sure.
But the guest will send me, thank you so much for sharing your story. You've inspired me to go and get help. Or because I saw you do this, I'm going to go do that. So that authenticity of who you are and what you do to show other people the journey. But yeah, I feel like an idiot when I put a gym thing, but for the same reason, hopefully, if I say everyone's got a different form of therapy, this is mine.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. That's so cool.
People might go, hey, that's not a bad idea, and go have a crack. But yeah, fucking hell, I didn't want to do it. But yeah, that authenticity and connection is very much a real thing. And that's why the whole industry exists, right? The podcasts and stuff. There's heaps of people out there that are flogs and they're not authentic at all.
100%.
But I think that's why people connect to this one, is because I am authentic as much as I cringe at myself for being it sometimes.
But mate, you are, and I've interacted with you at the Soldier Recovery Centre a fair bit, and it's not we know each other exceptionally well, but you are the same man wherever you are. And I think that's an absolute testament just to your authenticity and humility.
Yeah. I don't put
there's no character,
a face on to do a podcast. No.
So then, all of the guests that you've interviewed and the people that you interact with, is there anything special about them? No. Tell me more about that.
Basically, well, my criteria for entry is that you are a veteran, or that you work heavily with them. So that's it. And then I'll really give anybody a chance. And as far as there's so many different jobs, right? Like I talked about the imposter syndrome before. most people that come on will say to me in the initial catch up, I've got nothing worth saying. You don't want to talk to me.
For sure.
No one's going to want to hear what I've got to say.
Yeah.
Generally, those ones are the biggest ones. Actually, I had somebody say it to me on the weekend. I think he's coming on in next week or the week after. He's like, mate, I've done nothing. No one's going to want to hear what I've done. So I expect that to be a good one.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's very different when you have someone who's like, hey, you should get me on. I've got the best killer gunfighter stories. Everyone will love it.
Yeah.
Because people don't really, I'm obviously always inspired by epic combat stories or those sort of things, but it's a human challenge and struggle that I find the most interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's the most relatable.
Yeah. All the, it's either the sad stories about, I lost my identity and purpose and, this is how I feel about it, or this is the funny thing that gets all the interaction. It's not like, I don't know, I'll make a reel about something fucking exciting and I'm like, oh, this is, full war dog story, but apparently that's not who my followers are because I don't give a shit.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny the stuff you think, I know when I do my stuff, I go, oh, this will fucking, people love this. And I go, no one give a fuck. And then I whack something together. I'm like, oh, then whatever. And it goes berserk. You just never know, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the message. And I mean, if you do a podcast, great. If you certainly don't have to do a podcast to just be someone who lives authentically as who they are. So if you were going to talk to a young soldier that's 27 years of age, done 4 years in the army, is about to leave, if you could talk to the Harley Fox of 26 or 7 or whatever when you left the Navy, what would your advice be to that person?
My advice would be, this is a beginning, not the end. So treat it as such. You're not walking into a death sentence, you're walking into a new life. Not only are you doing that, but you're walking into a new life with way more skills and attributes than you ever had before you did that. So use that. Use all those skills, that fucking punctuality, that attention to detail, that drive to work hard, that sense of mateship and, always having your brother's back, or your oppo's back, girls and boys. Use that in whatever you want to achieve next. The problem, I think, is that what if I don't know what I want to achieve? I don't know what I want. Well, dig in. If you've got a medical separation, you've got a pension, you have the luxury and you can afford to take the time to find that. Look at your passions and then turn the passion into maybe a paid job. Like one of my good friends that left unwillingly, didn't know he was going to have to leave, left medically, didn't want to, cried his way out the gate, and then said, well, you know what, I fucking used to love photography. So why don't I go and become a travel photographer? And that's what he's doing now. And he's fucking he's doing what he loves to do, and he's probably going to fucking turn it into a business because he's really fucking good at it. So yeah, find your passion. If that's whatever, music, teaching, do whatever you want to do. If you don't know what to do, go and try shit. Go and study something. Get involved with some community groups, volunteer groups. The thing that veterans don't know, or soldiers don't know, or fucking sailors and airmen, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so one-dimensional these days. People pull me up on it all the time. What about Navy? What about the girls? Yes, everybody. Is they don't know what's available to them. I've said it so many times. Maybe I should just fucking do it. We need a spreadsheet, like a working Google Doc that veterans go on and put all the stuff that fucking is available to veterans on there, because there is so much out there. Like I just did a course called Vet 1. It's a veteran entrepreneur training, level 1, which I never knew existed, but I was just having a fucking sauna. I was at the sauna and bumped into another veteran in the sauna, and he was telling me that he was doing it, and he was like, "Oh, I could give you the details if you want to do it."
Yeah.
Literally, that was just from a random sauna conversation, and I just completed it and won $500 for the podcast.
Yeah, awesome.
In a pitch competition. Things like that. Like there's so many things out there that we have that can give you that exposure to what else is out there in life. So many organizations, so many free things, funded things. You know, I'm going to Kokoda next year with Kokoda Trek. I'm doing Trojans Trek this year with Trojans Trek. Things like that that'll, you know, you're going to meet people. Those conversations could lead to a job opening or
absolutely. And I think that's the thing for veterans, military veterans that coming from outside that world, that doesn't exist for cops at all. There's no DVA, there's none of those things. And I think it's one of the things that I've talked about a lot at Soldier Recovery Centre particularly is that DVA can either be the best thing that ever happened to you or the worst.
Yeah.
And I think that's
because it can give you the luxury of doing nothing.
100%.
Yeah.
And it should, like this is my little catchphrase I thought was really clever. I said it should be a bridge to a destination, not your destination.
Yeah.
Because DVA needs to be something that bridges your military life to your next life and use what you need to get out of it for sure. But if you're 24 and your goal is to get a gold card and medical separation, never work again, you're going to be fucking miserable.
Yeah, 100%. It is so obvious when you can see it from the outside that the people that take their pensions and do nothing are not fucking happy.
No.
And they never will be. There is nothing that is going to make you happy about sitting around and isolating yourself and drinking or smoking or doing whatever it is you're doing. Changing your state of mind to accept where you are with drugs or alcohol, that is never going to make you happy. Never. Finding your new tribe, finding that new sense of purpose, that's what's going to make you happy. You were a driven, hard-charging fucking person to want to join the military. You wanted to put a uniform on. You wanted that sense of pride and achievement. You wanted to work hard. That's you. That's who you are. They think that, oh, well, I've done that now. I've worked hard. Now let's chill out. Especially the guys that have done, a couple of years. Sure, your body got flogged and you're broken.
Sure.
And you've got your pension, but you're fucking going to be miserable sitting on the couch.
And I think people underestimate how much time we have. Like in the sense, like, I go again at 56, I don't know if I said on here, but I want to live till I'm 110. It was just this fucking random number I picked a few years ago. And I'm like, I got another 54 years to go.
Yeah, that's
a long time. If you're 32 now, if you don't live till you're 100, that's because you decided not to, probably, in the sense of it wouldn't be that hard to do. That's a long time, 68 years. Like it's double the time in some that you've been alive, and people can be at that age. And I was 32 and I left the cops, and I was like, oh, it's too hard. I'll never be anywhere. I'll kill myself. I'm like, fuck me, Dad. Like that was just such a, understandable in the moment, that feeling of pain and overwhelm. But I think for people, it's the ability to understand, doesn't matter what you do if you just do something.
Yeah.
Like do fucking something.
Yeah. I've had such a massive range of examples on here, like I was saying before. And, if you don't watch the podcast, you don't have to go back and watch 65 episodes, but some of the bigger ones, join the local footy club. That's been multiple people have done that. And that gives them such a huge sense of community. They've got barbecue nights and they've got, training nights and different stuff. And you don't have to play footy, but just being involved in the club, it gives you like a whole new group of people that with a common interest that you didn't have before. Martial arts, huge one.
100%.
Huge one. So the biggest thing I find with injured veterans that are medically discharged, and I think injured veterans are probably one of the ones that have the hardest time because they've been involuntarily separated. If you vol-sep, it's usually for a good reason.
Sure.
Either because you wanted to join the coppers or the fireys, or you wanted to do something else, or you had a business idea or whatever.
You're going to something.
Yeah, you're going to something. You're not just going to voluntarily separate and fucking sit on the couch with no money. So usually they're okay. So the ones that are struggling are the ones that are injured or medically separated.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're medically separated, you're like, well, I'm fucking broken, so I can't do this, so I can't do that. You can do jiu-jitsu. You can do jiu-jitsu.
100%.
I know guys that have been blown up fucking with IEDs and have got cooked backs and all sorts of fucking multiple injuries that are killers in jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely.
Jiu-jitsu is teaching you control, and it's, violence in a safe and controlled environment. And people that do jiu-jitsu are very calm, comfortable in their own skin and self. And I think not only is it a community and you're around the same group of people all the time and you're doing something hard together, which gives you that sense of purpose and achievement and feeling fucking good. Maybe not at the start, you'll get fucking wrecked for a while, but there's also the closeness, the physical contact, the hugging, and even after you roll, the high fives and the hugging, and you feel close to people. And I think that closeness is a huge thing for humans. Just to,
oh yeah, mate.
Yeah, sense of touch and feel and not feeling alone. And I've got mates that are fucking some of my closest friends that I met on the mats years and years ago. Yeah.
And I think that's I started jiu-jitsu about 1.5 years ago, and I've done about 3 months worth of training, but I've been totally inconsistent. But the thing, more recently, I've been consistent, and what I love about it is you just, meet cool people. It's hard. I saw a thing the other day that was like 1 out of every 100 white belts gets to a blue belt, and it's something because it's hard, but it's not that hard. And I'm always mindful now of going,
It's consistency.
100%. And that's what I'm told. I'm not saying I know that because I don't. But I think when I look at something like that, a footy club, a surf lifesaving club, just somewhere, for me, I'm doing some hybrid, high rocks, CrossFit type training class at the gym at midday, 3 or 4 days a week. And even I've been doing that for a couple of months, and just you become friends with the people there.
Same group of people.
Yeah, and you just turn up, g'day mate, how are you? And for me, probably similar to you, I spend a lot of time on my own because I run my business from home, all of those things, and it's cool because I go, oh, that's cool. I go and get to interact with these cool people at jiu-jitsu or at training and at gym, and I'm like, that's awesome. And it's if I didn't do those things, I would live a very isolated life.
Yeah.
And even though more recently, and this is probably a pertinent thing, I spend a lot of time on my own, and my daughters are both grown now, but I don't feel lonely. Because also having the ability to sit in your own space, I think is something most people...
It's peace.
Yeah. So have you developed that skill?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Reps.
Definitely.
I think how do I'll touch on that in a sec. One more thing I wanted to say about the martial arts. I don't know why. I always overlook Muay Thai. I think it's because I've been doing it most of my fucking...
Oh, Muay Thai is epic.
Because I've been doing it most of my life. I never... I just overlook it as it's like fucking walking for me. It's just who I am. It's what I do. But I should give it a fucking shout out every 100%. Now and then. Because fucking Muay Thai is... My friends that I've built through Muay Thai over the 16, 17 years that I've done it, probably I've gained, a lot of my friendship circle is people that I've gained through that. People that have become best mates that have, I've been to their weddings.
Yeah, cool.
We have poker nights here with the Muay Thai boys.
Sure.
We have barbecues. I go to, I went for a mountain walk with one of the boys and his kids the other day. The friendship circles that I've built off Muay Thai is gigantic. So, yeah, I talk about jiu-jitsu all the time. Sorry, Muay Thai guys. But, yeah, Muay Thai is fucking...
And Muay Thai is probably, you tell me, like I did a long time ago, what would you agree that Muay Thai is probably easier to gain skill at than jiu-jitsu in the initial phases?
No. The difference is that anyone can throw a punch. Not anyone can throw a punch well.
Definitely.
So you can do the things in Muay Thai. You just look like a bit of a sped when you're doing it.
Mm.
Jiu-Jitsu, it's very obvious when you're shit because you just can't do anything. You just get
exactly.
ragdolled. In Muay Thai, like everybody can sort of go through the motions, but you can really tell when someone's proficient.
But what I mean is, if people are like, oh, I don't want to do jiu-jitsu because I'm scared or I'm intimidated, do you think Muay Thai is an easier in that initial phase because everybody can kick a bag or throw a punch even though you might be?
Yeah, 100%. People are scared of Muay Thai because of the sparring.
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking spar.
Exactly.
So I go to Nung Muay Thai down in Wilston. We have sparring is only twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
If you come any other time, you don't spar. You won't spar. It's it's literally just those 2 times, and I just don't go to those days because I don't want to get injured.
No,
but
and it's also that's more a martial arts thing, I guess. But like for me, I'm like I don't do jiu-jitsu, so for me this is personal and it could change. I'm not doing jiu-jitsu so I can do comps because I'm like at 56, I have no interest in going and fighting someone and popping my shoulder to win a gold medal on Saturday at fucking Caloundra.
No, no. What do you got to prove?
I will probably come and do some Muay Thai actually when you say there's one at Woolston. I might come and do that because I think it is very much putting yourself into the places to be connected.
Yeah, I fucking love Muay Thai. I've my whole back's covered in Muay Thai tattoos.
Yeah, cool.
I'm obsessed with it. I love the connection and the closeness of it. Like my coaches are all Thai. So when you walk in the gym, it's all hugs and
so cool.
and love. And, you're playful and you spar, like you're hitting pads and they're like, clocking you and hitting you and laughing. And it's such a good time and such a good environment and atmosphere. And same sort of thing with jiu-jitsu. It's hard, so you have that feeling of, like I feel alive.
And I think it's there's another thing dawned on me that might be bullshit, but to me it's back to that tribal type. Go back to our ancestry and back to who we were as cavemen and women. Because I'm very PC in 2026. There you go. If you are, and I think there are, just by like statistics, but just by probably natural drive for things, you've got more men in combat sports than women, obviously, and more men in martial arts than women, generally. But I think if you're a woman that's been in the military or the cops or whatever, I also go, well, you're an alpha female. That's, you're a badass probably in your own right. They're great communities to be able to go and find people. Even like I found it at CrossFit, and I don't really
CrossFit is. They're very community oriented.
100%. And
that's why they call them a cult.
Yeah, 100%. And it's hard. And like I did that for years and some of my best mates out of that. And again, I think it's just find a group of people doing hard shit that they will probably have a lot of similarities to who you are. It doesn't have to be military, doesn't have to be police, doesn't have to be any of those things because there's like epic people that I've met in all of those environments, but they're people who are willing to do hard things. And it sounds very cliched to say, well, I can leave a job where my identity and purpose and tribe and I've lost it and I'm struggling and I'll never find it again. But then I go, you might go to your local F45 and go, or Fitstop and go, oh, fuck, this is my new tribe. But you're not going to find those people sitting on your couch crying into your beer, smoking cones and playing fucking PlayStation, right? And that's where a lot of people end up.
Yeah, they think their tribe is the fucking people they talk to through their headphones.
Yeah, exactly.
They're never going to meet. The next question was, how did I find that inner peace? I think it was failed relationships, to be honest.
Yeah, cool.
I think when me and my ex-wife separated in 2021, I think that I went through a period of, I looked back and I kind of found comfort in women when Alison passed.
Sure.
And I sort of needed that sort of female sort of there to...
Like validation?
Yeah, to get through stuff. And it was, it was fucking unfortunate for them because I wasn't really in a place to be in a relationship. I just sort of needed them to help me through what I was getting through.
Sure.
But anyway, once I broke up with my ex-wife, we were together for about 8 years, I went, fucking hell, I haven't been like alone or happy to be alone. I think like I've been alone, but usually involuntarily, like not for lack of trying. But I haven't just pulled back and been happy to be alone probably fucking ever. Why don't I give that a go? So I did. And I was at SRC at the time and started doing heaps of hikes and stuff with Alex. We were hanging out doing overnighters and going down to Tassie and doing the overlander and stuff. So I found a little bit of, all right, I'm gonna become like a nomad. So I went, I was doing solo overnight hikes and stuff and just trying to find that peace of being comfortable and not, fuck, I wish someone else was here sort of feeling. Didn't really get it straight away. I think I hooked up with a couple of different women that year and then had a fucking terrible relationship trying to, I don't know, like we said earlier, trying to fix someone that shouldn't have been attaching myself to. And then I was like, what am I doing? I've done it again. Fucking just get comfortable by yourself. Stop just going with someone because you don't want to be alone. And then I went about eight or 10 months. I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready to meet someone now. But I did it through the apps, which I think was a mistake. And then there were so many red flags. But the problem is red flags with one relationship. The next relationship, I'll look for the opposite of that.
Sure.
And if it is the opposite of that, I'll go, she doesn't have any red flags because she doesn't have any of those red flags. But she's got a whole fleet of red flags of her own. Anyway, by the time I see him, I'm like, well, I'm already here now. We'll work through it.
You're in the sunk cost fallacy. Already put some time and effort
in.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Standard. Yep.
So
and it's a good project.
I did a year with that chick, and that was fucking terrible. All the red flags, I was like, it'll be okay. She drinks a bit too much alcohol, but she's fun. And, we had conversations about stopping. Not she ever did. And then she had a meltdown and moved back to the States. So that finished. But after that one, I was like, all right, fucking enough. So I'm not a quick learner, but I do learn. So after that one, I was like, fucking enough. No more fucking apps. No more just meeting people for the sake of meeting people. Sort yourself out. Be truly comfortable and happy alone. And then just let it fucking happen if it happens when it happens.
Awesome. So
that's where I'm at now. I did jump on the apps for like a week back in fucking February, I think. And then I went for a coffee with some chick and I went, what am I fucking doing? You fucking did it. So I fucking went home and deleted the app and so that was February. So now it's June.
And I think that's like how's Harley and Shaun's relationship podcast. two single men telling people what they think. But I would even ask you a question. Why do you consider the relationships that haven't worked failed?
Why do I consider rather than learning experiences? Yeah, you're right. A lot of the relationships I've had, I try and even maintain a friendship with them, and I do consider them that. Not something I would go back to, but something that was definitely something I've learned from. And I have learned from all of them. I think the ones I consider failed are the ones that like ended in crazy fucking uproar.
Yeah, conflict or because and the only reason I ask you that is I've put a bit of a different perspective on some of that stuff, on like many things in my life, relationships and a whole lot of things, and gone, you know what? Everything I've been through, I don't regret any of it. There are things I would change absolutely in hindsight if I had my time over. But every one of them has taught me something pretty significant. All the challenges, all the difficulties, all of those things.
Yeah, true.
And I think to be able to give that perspective to someone who might be a bit younger than you and I, and who might be on, at the beginning of this process of a bit of, self-awareness or emotional development or whatever you want to call it, is even the mistakes, in inverted commas, even the challenges, you're better off to move forward and make them than stay stuck and have no momentum.
Yeah.
So, and back to just fucking do something. Like just move forward.
Yeah.
So if you look at all of the people you've interviewed on the podcast, all of the stuff that you've learned from those people and from SRC, and a number of hundred, probably 400 or 500 military people you saw come through SRC in your time that you were there, right? What do you think the biggest traps are? What would be the three biggest traps for people?
Traps or the things they fall into when they get out.
Just traps in general. Like what are the things that snag people in the process, whether they're like when, particularly SRC, but the people you see on here are all people that have a version of a zero to hero story, if as wanky as that sounds. Like most of them are people who've been through challenge and difficulty. SRC people go there because there is an injury, mental, emotional, or physical. What's the difference between the people who succeed and end up in a life where they're happy and fulfilled and the people who don't?
I think we pretty much covered all that already. Like the trap would be accepting what the doctors tell you, and especially if you fucking do the alternative therapy stuff that everybody's banking on DVA these days. Come see us. Well, don't even like it's all free. It's all free. So they'll get the alternative therapies, but you'll have people tell you, you know, you've worked hard, kick your feet up. The trap would be to believe that and do it. The trap would be to think that you are not capable anymore when you fucking are.
100%.
It just looks different now. It's not that you think you can't do anything because you can't do what you did. But at the end of the day, chapters open and close throughout our entire life. We're never going to go to primary school again. We're never going to go to high school again. We're never going to have our high school sweethearts again. We're never going to be, able to run a 100-meter sprint in the fucking time we did when we were 22. Things change. We're never going to be able to, maybe deadlift as much as we did. I don't know, maybe you can. That's, once you hit a certain age and your strength declines.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, the army or the military was a chapter that is now shut, but it's not the end of the fucking book. Oh, mate, that was amazing.
That is amazing. No, 100%. I think that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's not the end of the book. It just looks different now. Whatever you're doing, just redirect it into your new thing. The trap would be accepting or thinking that the book's fucking shut and I'm done and life's over. Because that is the thing that everybody, most people that come on here, to be fair, have got through it, have come out on the other side.
Yeah, for sure.
The people that we're talking about that were at SRC and that we saw that were very lost, they were stuck in that, if I can't do this, I'm not going to fucking do anything. And fuck the army for doing this to me, and I hate the world, and I'm just going to live in a pit of misery and depression. Then,
so what is there? I'm trying to lead you to something, but I'll give it if you don't get it. What's the mentality you would describe that as?
The mentality of the people defeated, quitters.
It's a victim mentality.
Victim, yeah.
Right. And I think that to me is one of the things that when I recognize myself acting as a victim is one of the most putrid feelings that I experience.
Yeah. Woe is me, yeah.
Yeah. So some of the experience you've seen with people at SRC and a lot of the people that you've interviewed and like how they've been through that, how would you sort of culminate? What did they do to get out of that mentality?
Well, some of them went through, or most of them actually, started with professional help, talk therapy. They accepted it. They acknowledged it. That's the biggest thing.
Acknowledge you're acting as a victim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
They said, hey, I need help. And they went and accepted therapy. So even people that don't believe in therapy, that's where they start. Once you accept, it's like the alcohol thing, right? First thing is acceptance. Once they've accepted it, they go and talk to someone. They go, hey, I'm not doing great. What can I do? Try these things, try these methods. They'll go see a therapist. They might see fucking 2 or 3. Somebody might see 1, and that victim mentality might go, fucking I didn't help at all. Therapy's not for me. I'm going to go back and wallow. Whereas you might need to see a fucking bunch. There's bad physios, there's bad doctors, there's bad psychs. Shop around. But yeah, acceptance, seeing someone getting through that initial stage of it's like a loss, right? Losing the military is like losing losing someone you love. It's
Definitely.
it's a part of you. So letting that go.
Well, for a lot of people, it's the most significant relationship and the longest you've had.
Yeah, it would be for sure. Even if it's only 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Welcome to the Harley and Shaun relationship show. Yeah. And then finding that new thing. So it's going to bring you that purpose and happiness again. And there's something that I've thought about for a long time, and it's out of that victim mentality, is go and find someone, and it's exactly what you're doing for people, which is amazing. Go find someone who's been where you are, who's got to somewhere different. And if someone else has done it, then you can do it. If no one else has done it, you're just going to have to work harder.
Yeah.
Is it still possible? And the thing for me, and I don't know, so with the process of leaving military, starting the podcast, all the different things you've, Navy back into Army, all of those sort of things, was there a foundational thread that ran through those parts of your life, even like being on the streets at 11 and 12 and, multiple families that kicked you out, that you felt attached to, losing Alison, all of those things? What would be the fundamental common thread that is the reason you're sitting here now and you didn't jump off a cliff, or you didn't overdose, or you didn't? I'm sure there would have been 1,000 opportunities to get killed in fucking gang fights or whatever. Why do you think, what is the one commonality, the one personality trait, the one whatever it is? I don't know what it is, but what would be the thing for you that got you to where, how old did you say you are? 40? What?
44.
4? That got you from that 12-year-old kid that was fucking like, how the fuck am I going to live, survive in the world, I would imagine, and probably younger than that, but at that phase, to then 32 years later, where you're certainly on the process and on the path to having a fantastic, really good life, and already have a great life, I presume. I would also presume this isn't where you want to stop. Would that be fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the commonality? What's the one thread? What's the one thing? What got you up in the morning and kept you going when stuff was just fucking horrible?
Good question. I think stubbornness.
Yeah?
No, it's like I had a vision for myself. I had this thing in my head of I'm gonna be somebody someday. I'm gonna make it. This isn't gonna be me or my life. And I guess that's just sort of step by step, inch by inch, it's kept going. So, when I bought my first house, I was like, this is nice, but this isn't going to be my last house. I'm going to get something bigger and better and nicer. And then I bought my second house, which is this one, and it is bigger and better and fucking nicer. But I'm still like, I also want a pool one day in a yard. So
sure,
keep working, keep grinding. So just that, when I was a child, I could see people in situations that I wanted to have, and the love of a family, but also the nice things. I like nice things. People think I'm OCD because I'm tidy and my house is nice, but I just like nice things. And I guess not growing up with nice things made me want.
Well, if you grow up in mayhem, you want order.
Yeah, and it made me appreciate things. So I look after my staff. But yeah, just that drive to succeed, I guess. I think and for me, success means it feels like it means a lot more because it came from the fucking ashes. I feel like me succeeding is like a big fuck you to life trying to keep me down at the start.
Can I give you a different phrase and see if it resonates for you? In some mechanism, you had a belief things could be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I believe that I was destined for better, for more.
What do you think created that belief?
Oh, I don't know. No idea.
Was it because it was so painful that, and I'm going somewhere with this for people, but was it because it was so painful there was no option to stay where you were?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, as in the pain was so bad and it was such an untenable and an unacceptable situation at 7 or 8 or 12 or whatever where the belief started. Because there are many people, and I would say the majority of people who grew up in that environment don't get out of it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, yeah, but how would that work for all the people that just fucking stay there?
Because they don't have the same belief, or they didn't have the same drive, or there wasn't something that clicked for them, right? And that's tragic. And that's obviously where we have generational drug abuse, alcoholism, violence, everything that happens in society.
Mm.
But the reason I'm saying it for this group of people who listen to your podcast is, if where you are now isn't painful enough and you don't choose it is, then how do you drive forward to something better?
Yeah. Comfort is a killer of
growth. Comfort's a slow death, right? It's that, whatever, I can't remember which veteran T-shirt company's got that on there. But it's so true. So, and it's somehow, and mate, and I absolutely, it sounds a bit wanky to say to you, but I find that fucking inspirational to go as a young kid at 12 years of age, somehow you decided things were going to be different. And when I look back at my life, and it was, my mum and dad split when I was 12, and it was nowhere near that as difficult as yours was, but it was certainly difficult for me in the time. There was something in me going, there has to be more than this.
Yeah.
There just fucking has to be.
Yeah.
And I still tap into that these days.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you do. Did someone teach you that, or did you just decide that? Is that a skill you've developed? Is it a...
No, I just decided. It's like there's got to be more, and I can be more. And if they can do it, those people over there, then I can do it. And I don't have to, like, I'm not going to stay with these street kids forever when I could be over there with a smile on my face, driving a nice car, eating good food. I'm destined for more.
And what you chose, and what's so important for your audience to understand, is you chose to go, you didn't go, fuck them, they've got it better than me, poor me. You went, oh, wow, I'm inspired by them, I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
Now, you wouldn't have had that language probably, but that certainly would have been the...
I want that.
Yeah. And I think that's so critical. So is there a common thread of people have that attitude that you see succeed through this podcast, with SRC, veterans you engage with? Is it...
Yeah, I guess the thread kind of seems to be like there's the service thread, born to serve, served in the military, continuing to serve, like I'm continuing to serve
100%.
the community now. But it's that never resting. Yeah, it's never enough, I guess. Like I want more. Because like there's plenty of people that have done a very full military career, 30 years, that would be more than justified to kick their feet up and get a hobby farm and chill out for the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. But instead they get a new profession, they go to uni at 50 years old,
100%.
They become directors of companies and work at different organisations and are busy again. It's that never not accepting life is over. There is no time to rest and do nothing, which I think, other than being busy, like that's probably a key to happiness.
And I think it's the anchor to serve as something bigger than yourself. As you were talking then, I'm thinking, well, to me back then it was the cops, and then 15 years in the corporate world, I was like, this is doing my fucking head in because there's no service to anything. There's no... For me,
going through emotions,
and other people can certainly have that experience in those organisations. But I think the majority of your listeners who are going to be veterans or military people probably are, and when I say we, the policing, military, similar thing, we are wired different to other people.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you and I met at the SRC, or when I came here to do my episode, and even today catch up, it's like we don't know the intimate details of each other's lives, but I'm like, oh, fuck, I know this guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's that for your audience, when you look at military veterans or soldier, whoever, What's the difference between them as a group compared to general society as a group?
Is that even on the weekend when, on last week when we did the entrepreneurship course and we're all down there, it was like, I don't know, 12 veterans in a room and everyone's just, chatting and getting along. And I think someone even made the comment, it's like, we just get each other. Like there is that, yeah, and I think people put it down to that we've been through the same things, but it could also be what you're saying, that it's because that's who we are to join those things as well. That draw to service and camaraderie and all.
What's the anchor to something? Like I always look at it as the anchor to something bigger. And so there's a question. When I look, like when I left the cops and went to the corporate world, I made a shitload more money and, ate in 5-star restaurants and flew business class around the country, and it was a fucking pain in the ass. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I pretended I knew what red wine was good and, I drank heaps of piss and was fucking loose, did coke and did whatever. But I look now and I go, man, that just wasn't it. It wasn't it for me. Do you see the people that are happy, that have made it, whatever made it means, that are comfortable, that are content, that are whatever, are they serving something bigger than themselves in general?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. People that are working for organisations that are doing things to help people and serve people are the ones that are more content with what they're doing. The people that just work, like you're saying, in the corporate role, yeah, they're fucking miserable, actually, all of them. Yeah. That's like, it's just a grind. Going to work, got to go to work.
And that to me is the thing of going, well, when you're looking at what's next, do something that serves a greater good and has an impact.
Don't just get a job for the paycheck.
100%.
Yeah,
because,
for sure.
And I think, having been around the military community for quite a while now, but also just the similarity with cops and soldiers and airmen and seamen, of course, then and boys and girls and every gender and I'm joking. But when you look at all of that, the people that I love and I resonate with in these jobs, and the reason I'm still back at the Soldier Recovery Centre 8 times a year after 8 years, I was there the other day and I was just like, why do I keep doing this? And it's definitely for me a tribal elder thing in some regard, going like you and I, you're younger than me, but we are getting to that point of being tribal elders if we're being serious about who we are. So it's passing some wisdom and that down. But it's also just, to me, serving a greater good. Like I could have stayed in the corporate world and made a shitload more money than I've made to date in doing what I do now. The beautiful part of my business now is the more people I impact, the more money I make, which is fucking awesome. But equally going, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't.
And I think that is probably one of the things that I see with people who leave these organisations with purpose, serving whatever it is. And I go, and no disrespect to any of these jobs I'll name because they're all important jobs, but if you're a cook in the military or you drive a truck or you refuel fucking vehicles or, cops the same thing, whether you're on the front counter or in the radio room or you're doing something that doesn't feel like it's contributing, it's all part of the mechanism and the machine that does the overall thing.
Yeah. I just posted a reel about that.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. And
it's all important.
It is. And sitting on your couch not serving anything other than yourself, the Doritos and your cones, is why you end up miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's not because you're not in the military anymore, per se, but it's that you're not contributing anymore.
So if you wrapped everything you had, I reckon we're about 5 minutes from the end, but close enough.
Yeah.
Everything you've learned through this podcast, go back through the SRC, through Army, through Navy, all the way back down to that young kid that was on the streets. What do you think what are the lessons or the awareness or the whatever that are important that you haven't talked about yet?
I haven't talked about it.
What are the less obvious ones that people probably don't talk about as often?
Like if you want to do something, never Don't let small setbacks stop you from believing you can do it. Consistency is key. 1% better every day. I think that's on a couple of shirts. Yeah, it's tough because I've got civilian friends as well that like, oh, it's lucky, it's easy for you because you've had the military as your backing to do what you want to do. And
so easy in what respect? Because of pensions or because of
because of TVA and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
You can see a psychologist whenever you want. It's free for you, okay? Which is fair enough, but like at the end of the day, life is finite. I think that's one thing that's given me good perspective throughout my life. I've never stayed in a job that I hated because I think where I've come from and everything I've seen, I understand that this life isn't going to last forever. And we forget that we're not immortal. And we just go through the fucking motions of life and we go to do our mundane 9 to 5 that we hate. And we party on Friday night and then we recover on Saturday and then we get ready for work again on Sunday and then the depression starts to creep in. I was actually talking to a veteran the other day about this. He's now working in the corporate world and it's exactly that.
Sunday night
goes
blues.
Out Friday night, watches footy.
Totally.
Saturday relaxes and recovers. Sunday starts to feel depressed.
100%.
Because he's going to work.
I did that for years.
Yeah. And then we just do that because we feel like we have to. But you all watch motivational videos. Everyone watches motivational and inspirational videos and people doing this and that. And those people that are doing that are fucking happy. Why are they happy? Because they're doing the thing that they want to do. Why are we miserable? Because we're not and we're watching other people do it. So I think for myself, the reason that I've maintained a pretty level head of contentment with my life is that I've always pursued what I want to do, not what I felt I had to do. Like I'm not going to work in a shithouse job that the boss disrespects me and that I hate just for a paycheck because I've been poor. So I'm not afraid of being poor. I'll happily live on 2-minute noodles again to be happier in what I'm doing. But people won't let that go. People won't quit their job to go and pursue their dreams because they don't want to take that chance of being poor. So, yeah.
And what do you think motivates that?
Fear of all the things that the things that could happen, homelessness and
sure.
Never finding a better job, so you'll be just stepping into something even worse. Yeah, it's all fear, which is fair. I understand it, but also people think they're going to live forever, but you could very well die tomorrow. And if you do, will you be happy that you spent the last fucking 10 years miserable?
But it's a very there's one other thing I want to ask you in a minute. A very pertinent thing when my mum got diagnosed with cancer last year, as you know, and died in February. And I love her. I love her to death. Mum wasn't super emotionally connected or she was quite distant, quite avoidant and super stressed. And literally on her deathbed, she was like, I really wish I had to listen to what you've told me and I really wish I had been happier and I didn't stress about things. And it was sad because I was like, I was peaceful in it, but we had a 10-minute conversation off the back of something that happened, and I won't bore you with details, but it was where I was pretty emotional about something, and she goes, come and sit on the bed, and she was 80 years of age, sat on the bed and hugged me, and the first time in my life where she'd actually hugged me and I felt wrapped up and loved by her, which was beautiful. But then she was like, I really regret that I didn't allow myself to be more like this. And I look at, and it was all fear for Mum. And for her, it's a weird example, but I think it's a great one to right outside of the realm of what we're talking about in the military, is that she, for whatever reason, grew up Irish Catholic and just didn't really think she deserved much in her life, got married to my dad, and he was a fairly dysfunctional human, the two of them together, and then he left her at 37. And I said, what's the hardest thing that's ever happened in your life, Mum? And she goes, oh, your dad leaving. And I said, by any measure of most people's assessment, that was probably a gift for you and him. You just didn't get along. And I said, that was 43 years ago. And you saw the look on her face and she was like sad. And then I said, I'm not trying to be a prick. And this was during the conversation about cancer, because I said, you're going to end up on your deathbed regretting these last 6 months if you're not careful. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened.
Mm.
And I think for so many people, it's just that it's safer to be stressed and scared and not take a risk.
Yeah, fear of it. Yeah.
Keeping your potential intact is a lot better than trying and failing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's not many people that do, but they're the happiest ones.
And then last thing, mate, how does other people's opinions impact you or impact the people you've seen and spoken to on this podcast, and how much do people struggle with that?
Oh. Well, myself, I don't know. It's very overwhelmingly positive towards me, which I love and respect and appreciate. I'm humbled by it. The only hate comes from reels, from comment sections.
Sure.
Which I'll generally delete. I just deleted one today.
Yeah.
Because fucking veteran, like the whole platform is veterans connecting and lifting each other up and supporting each other, and that's it, to give the community and stuff. And the negative Nellies and that, and people trying to fucking bring everyone down and cutting down to tall poppies and all that. Not really a place for it here, so fuck off.
Yeah.
But a lot of the negative stuff will come from just people being fucking floggers on the internet. To me, honestly, I thought I would care a lot more. I thought it would crush me because I'm a very sensitive dude to criticism. I'm one of those people that don't like banter a lot because I found, I don't know, my life was very hard.
Yeah.
I've come a long fucking way. And I'm like, how dare you try and attack that small little thing about me that I can't change or whatever. I've gotten better over the years. So the only banter I don't like now, when that's all that comes out of someone's mouth.
Yeah, totally, me too.
It's like, fuck off. Like there's a line between banter and you just being a fuckhead. And if you keep going, I'm going to flog you.
And it's also, mate, like I have such a common, that I'm exactly the same like that. I used to be the king of banter because it was a self-protection thing. When someone would come at me with banter, there was mates of one of the cops who'd go, oh, bro, like I remember a mate of mine had to chop me one day about something that was super sensitive to me in front of other people, and I absolutely decimated him. Like, and I was like, who do you think you are, you blah, blah. And he was a good mate of mine, and he starts pissing himself laughing. And I said, what's so funny? And he goes, fuck me. He goes, you're a savage. He goes, there is nothing you won't say. Nobody can ever get over you with, banter. And I was like, I was sad about that because I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I was in my late 30s. Wasn't a bit like I've built such an armor around me where I can be such an arsehole if I have to be to protect myself.
Yeah,
which is that.
Same.
Sorry, mate, I took you off track. So what's that? So how does that now?
But yeah, it's honestly, so I thought that I'm like, I'm going to be one of these people. Like, Rogan has people on all the time that say how they read 100 comments and one of them's bad and they only see that one. Oh, that's probably going to be me too. But it wasn't, not at all. I don't give a fuck. I kind of laugh when I see negative comments.
Yeah, me too.
Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. There have been some comments that have affected my guests, which it's very difficult because I don't know, like, do I just delete? Do I block? Do I fucking fire back? Do I protect the guest? So yeah, it kind of, if you got fucking nothing nice to say, don't say anything, you fuckheads, because it hurts people.
And I think the irony of that is it's the old hurt people. You know, so someone who's going to be that vitriolic but fuck them, because I go, if you're hurting, get some help, do something about it. Don't let your shit splash on other people.
Yeah. Well, that's why I try and, it happened recently, and I tried to tell them, like, honestly, like, I started sending screenshots of the feedback I was getting from a podcast to them and saying, look how much positivity there is.
To the person who was giving the negative feedback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't derail what's happening here because of one fuckwit on the internet.
Oh, you said that to the guest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
And
yeah,
they're
yeah,
like, but if one person's thinking it, hundreds of people are going to be, I'm like,
they're not.
no.
And here's the sad part: people are far more willing to give negative commentary than they are positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So if you're getting 100 good comments and one bad one, and, you know, you can be assured there's more than 100 people thinking good things.
and the thing that I found, it was actually one of the comments was off the back of my interview with you. That there's that guy that came knew way too much about my life because he was like, you love the attention, you love this, blah, 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 your gym photos, your podcast. I was like, fuck, mate, if you hate me, you spend way too much time looking at my shit. But it was funny because that one didn't affect me and it used to. But I think, what's your advice to people who want to go and do something different?
Put themselves out there.
And a lot of veterans, like we're saying, service, help people do whatever, blah, blah, blah. There can often be a little bit of a stigma attached to that, like where people are, even that, I'd made a comment or a reel, something about, I said, I don't like putting myself out there. I do it because I want to try and help people. I find it challenging, blah, blah. And someone said, oh, yeah, like your Grey Man podcast, you're the toughest cop that ever served in Queensland, like having this massive spray. And I looked at it, and I remember you sent me a message and were like, oh, bro, don't worry about it. I said, it was on your fucking podcast. And you were like, I don't remember that. That's so funny. But I look at it and I just go, like, that had to be someone who knows me. Like they use SOG as my initial, which hardly anyone calls me. Mm-hmm. People call me Soggy or Shaun or whatever, but SOG. And it's someone that obviously knows me pretty closely from a period. And if it was someone from the cops or someone... SRC, yeah. Quite possibly. It could be someone from SRC. Like there's been a couple of people there that didn't like what I say. But I think if you're looking at that for people that you're wanting to impact through your podcast, the guests you've had on, the people you see in SRC, your life experience, what advice would you give people about other people's opinions of them?
Oh, just the cliche stuff. I think the thing that you need to remember is if you put yourself out there, there's gonna be haters, no matter what. Because haters, they exist and they love to tear people down. So I think that the biggest thing to think about is if I put myself out there, if I go on a podcast, if I do something that's in the public eye, there is going to be hate, and try and prepare yourself for that. And I don't know, because I thought I would care a lot more as well. So I really don't know how, maybe you do, what to suggest to have that armor up to fuck with, who cares? Or have a giggle about it. Look at these fucking idiots. That's fun. Like, it means nothing to me. And I don't know how I got that skill, to be honest, because I really didn't think I had it. I think just knowing that there's trolls out there and they're not happy. It's not the people that are killing it.
No.
Like we say, that are fucking putting negative comments on Facebook. They're miserable fucking individuals.
I saw a thing years ago that was like, Michael Jordan's not in Kobe Bryant's comment section. You know, like, so you never,
might be.
But you know, people that are doing better than you are rarely going to be trying to criticize you.
No, they'll be like, you know, good job, congratulations. Yeah.
And I think for me, and I would presume probably similar to you, you know what your why is. You know who you are. I would imagine you can look at yourself in the mirror and know that you're a man of integrity and you're a decent human being. Yeah. So therefore, the only comments that and certainly comments used to, and I've been I've got very few negative comments comparative to some of the stuff I say and people's perception of how I say it, where they go, oh, you're brutal and you're hard, which I don't think I am. But certainly comparative, and probably the similar way you talk, comparative to the woke PC, don't say anything world, you and I probably have strong opinions on things.
Yeah.
That I find now I'm far less concerned about the comments because I've done far more of that introspection to go, am I the person I want to be? Mm-hmm. Am I a decent man?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Does that resonate with you?
Yeah. Yeah, if I was insecure in myself, maybe, that'd derail me. Yeah, it does actually. I'm very content with my life. I know I'm a good dad. I know I'm a good provider for my kids, and I'm a good friend, and I'm a good ear, and yeah, that's true, yeah.
So how did you get to that belief?
Probably this last 5 years, that I was saying before, where I've really tried to find myself as a man after I left my ex-wife, and that. So I've had a couple of short-term relationships since, but primarily, like the majority of that time, I've been alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that time alone, I've really dug into myself and found that inner peace. And, I travel, like I was telling you before, I travel once a year and just spend time alone on the beach, taking myself out to dinner at restaurants.
Cool.
I enjoy my own company. And I think in that time, I have a lot of time to reflect and stuff without distraction. And just having conversations with mates and knowing that my friends will come here and want to have a beer with me and open up to me and knowing that I'm that good friend that will be there for people and seeing how my daughter reacts to me and is so full of love and admiration. I guess I have the filter on to see it now.
So would it be fair to suggest that you've done the work?
Done the work, as they say.
And that's probably you're the interviewee. You tell me what's that. Tell me more about not particularly what you had to do, but what did doing the work look like, or how's it changed your life and your perspective?
Well, yeah, I guess like I was saying before about recommendations to other people that other people say, it always starts with talk therapy, right? So it did with that for me. Seeing a psychologist, getting my story. So I'd never said my childhood out loud to fucking anybody ever. The first time was with a psychologist, and I bawled my eyes out like I've never experienced before in my life. I just couldn't stop the waterworks. And so she was like, you need to see me every week for the next 6 months. And we did that, and I fucking cried every time and just went through sort of my whole childhood. And although like there wasn't a lot of advice from her, there was a couple of nuggets like, you should write yourself a letter or forgive your inner child for the mistakes you made, things like that, which definitely helped. But there wasn't a lot of takeaway. There was just me letting it out, floodgates, right? And just instead of the fear and the shame and the fucking guilt and resentment and all the things that I had inside of me, just verbalizing it and spewing it out, just so much weight lifted off my shoulders. So that was the first step, talk therapy. And then, it's like just finding that peace. So forcing myself out of my comfort zone to not get on the apps, to not try and find a girlfriend, to not go out and drinking, like just to force myself to be in better environments, to go hiking by myself and things like that.
So it's avoiding the short-term Band-Aid fixes.
Yeah, that, what do you call it? The quick dopamine.
Like the quick dopamine, yeah.
Yeah. The mouth pleasure for the regret later.
Well, that's why they have Mars bars at the checkout and not bananas, right? Because it's nobody looks at a banana and goes, "Oh fuck, I really want one of them."
Yeah.
Everybody looks at a Mars bar and goes, "Oh, that'll feel good."
Yeah, luckily chocolate gives me mouth ulcers, so I'm safe. So I just focusing on myself, and I'm not fucking perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So sure, I'll have bad weeks and stuff like anybody does, but that's like realizing that as well, understanding that, and not kicking myself and putting myself into a pit of regret and shame because of it. So doing the solo work, not relying on other people's validation, external validation, all that sort of stuff.
Great term. I've never heard that before. Do the solo work. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's I had an experience when I wrote my book, and I put my book out now almost 10 years ago. I wrote it and it was, took ages for me to get the courage to do it and blah, 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 and people told me I should. And then when I did, I got a copy of it, and I remember where I was. It was with Rach Makes Martin. I was at her place, and I got the book and like the cover, like the proofread one or whatever. And I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And it really rattled me because, and she didn't recognize it. I didn't verbalize it. She didn't recognize it because we talked about it for 2 years. But I took it up and I flicked open pages, and I would read a paragraph and I'd go, fuck, why did you put that in there? Then I'd flick another one, like it was all my deepest, darkest secrets and insecurities. And it was terrifying. And then I just put on Facebook and there was all these comments and away we went. And it was still challenging for a while. But that's like the last 10 years for me have been going, well, I don't really have any secrets anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I think what you're saying in that is like whatever your deepest, darkest secret or fear is that you are hiding from that you think people will hate you for, they've probably got a similar fucking story.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, dude, I had so much shame for my child, like for the criminal stuff and the gang stuff, and fighting and the podcast. So when I did my podcast, that was another massive turning point because it wasn't just a psychologist. Now the fucking world knows. And some of my best friends watched that and went, holy fuck, dude, I didn't know a lot of that stuff about you. I didn't know that. So, yeah, a lot of it I hadn't said out loud to anyone. Even my psychologist, I didn't tell her about some of the criminal stuff that I talked about on the podcast. And then I did another podcast, which kind of, did it again to really make sure I'd fucking ring it out, put it out there. So I've done 3 now. And I think, it's given me that. I really can't describe how much internal angst I had for the life that I had that would eat at me daily. Little decisions I made about friendships and people I hurt along the way, and just the poor choices I made to get into the situations that I never could forgive myself for. And then putting it out there now that it's fucking out there, anybody can watch it at any time, just gives me this sense of relief. Like it's not in me anymore. It's out there. So I don't have to worry about it or feel shit about it. And yeah, like you said, most people go, wow, you're an inspiration. Not, oh my God, you're a piece of shit.
Because you're not. Mate, I think that's a fantastic place to end it. And I think to wrap that if I was going to wrap that in a sentence, is nobody is ever going to be as ashamed or judgmental of you as you are. And I think that's when you can understand that and realize that, you realize the more that you share the pain or whatever, and the more open you can be with the people you care about and the people you love, just the more connected you'll be. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Honesty. Dude, I see that all the times. Honesty and vulnerability in relationships is what the key to successful relationships. People that hide themselves and hide the truth from their partners do not succeed. There's so many people these days playing a character. Yeah, they do. I've got friends that do it. Me too. Their partners don't know who they are at all. And so anything we didn't talk about we should? No. Wanted to touch base about some security stuff, but we talk off air about that. Okay. I'm intrigued. Awesome. Cool. All right, mate. Thank you. Thanks for giving me the privilege of asking you the questions. No worries. We can say that the imposter syndrome had lessened, but during that it kind of peaked up again. Of course. Who's going to hear me want to fucking talk about this stuff? Of course. And mate, I'll be very surprised if this doesn't resonate strongly with your audience because it's you. Hope so. And like you've had some epic guests, definitely. I don't include myself in that. But I think for you, mate, I take my hat off to you because you really have created a situation in a community of people that can share openly and vulnerably. And I think the impact that you have had and you will have is you probably will never understand. So thank you for what you do. Thanks so much, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks, mate. Cheers. The Grey Man Podcast is a veteran-run platform dedicated to sharing authentic experiences from current and former service members. These stories are shared to foster connection, understanding, and support within the veteran community. Episodes may contain raw, emotionally charged content that some listeners may find distressing. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the Grey Man Podcast, its host, or affiliated partners. The Grey Man Podcast assumes no liability for any statements, opinions, or representations made by guests during interviews or discussions.